Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on in. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. 'Cause I heard all the people saying, get down on it. Come on and get down on it. If you really want it, get down on it. You gotta feel it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Baby, baby. Get down on it. Get on it. Get down on it. I say, people, what you gonna do? You gotta get on the groove if you want your body to move. Tell me, baby, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really won't take a chance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. 'Cause I heard all the people saying, get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. When you're dancing, get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Sha-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? Get your back up off the wall. Dance, come on. Get your back up off the wall. Dance, come on. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. If you really want it, get down on it. You gotta feel it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down. Come on and get down on it. Baby, baby. Get down on it. Get down. Get on it. Get down on it. How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me, baby, how you gonna do it if you really won't take a chance? By standing on the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Listen, baby, you know it. Oh, when you're dancing, yeah, you show it. Oh, when you move, 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 you know it. Oh, when you're dancing, yeah, you show it. As you move across the floor, get down on it. Come on and get down on it. If you really want it, get down on it. You gotta feel it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Baby, baby. Get down on it. Get on it. Get down on it. Sha-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? Get your back up off the wall. Dance, come on. Get your back up off the wall. Dance, come on. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. If you really want it, get down on it. You gotta feel it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. While you're dancing, get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Oh, 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 yeah. Get down on it. You move me, baby, when you move. Get down on it. 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 Get your back up off the wall.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's NBA Sharp Betting Breakdown here on the Advantage Sports Betting Podcast. I am your host, Michael Fiddle. Today is Friday, January 10th, and we are starting this pod off with some good news. First things first, I think you could see a hoop in the background back there. The office is finally getting set up. Can you see the couch? Can you see the carpet? You should see the sound paneling on the other side of the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one weekend away from putting lighting up on the wall and having a full studio, sound panels, awesome stuff. We're going to start incorporating some new segments. I got the hoop, but they didn't send me the way to inflate the basketballs. They sent me this thing with no needle inside, and now I can inflate these basketballs and hit you guys with a sky hook. Imagine if that went in. Don't worry, we have 4 more basketballs to throw some random shots throughout the stream. We are joined today by professional poker player Drew Johnson. That's also part of the good news. We got Ian in the back. That is part of the good news. We are coming in off of a winning day. That is part of the good news. We have 9 winning days in the last 10 slates, netting north of plus 13 units. That continues to be part of the good news. Drew, we are going through a 7-game slate on a Friday, and then I got one topic of some Friday shenanigans. I have not filled you in. Are you ready for it?
No, yeah, and no, I wasn't prepared.
There you go. No and yes is the perfect answer. Let's start this slate with the New Orleans Pelicans visiting the 76ers in Philadelphia. The big news here is that Zion not even listed on the injury report in full conditioning. I don't even know if he's going to have a minutes restriction. I actually thought the Zion over 20.5 points prop was actually a decent look. Zion going to be in this game. Paul George probable, and then out is going to be Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond, Kyle Lowry, and Kenyon Jr. Martin Jr., as we call him on this show. It's KJ Martin Jr. Who says that? Come on. So we have a spread here that's been bouncing between 3.5 and 4. 4.5 has popped up at times. I'm looking across the board. We have 4 here at FanDuel, Circa, DraftKings to minus 115. 4.5 at BetMGM, Caesars, Bet365, Bookmaker. Some offshores are laying a 4.5. So definitely seems to be some Philadelphia steam in the market. This team, despite not playing with Embiid under Tyrese Maxey right now, he's playing like an absolute superstar. Paul George is playing really well. Yabusele should be running for mayor of Philadelphia because that man must be beloved in that town like he's fucking Rocky. Philadelphia steam, I would lean towards the oh my god, I said lean. I would think of any total, I would go towards the over, but I don't want to play anything in this game. Drew, how about you?
I am in the same boat, though I did take a small prop on Zion over 20.5 points.
Yeah, we saw the same thing, right?
Yeah, if he's full conditioning, no minutes restriction, like that's an easy one, right?
It should be, especially with no Embiid to be a paint protection, especially with no Drummond. So he's going to play against that. Yabusele is going to be playing center. Kelly Oubre is going to be playing big minutes. So it's just like, yeah, there's going to be no bigs to contain Zion in this spot. That's why I feel like it's an over spot. That's why I feel like it's also probably a 76er spot, considering the depth of the role players around the stars, right? So we don't have Trey, you don't have Herb, you don't have like, it's really Zion.
Murray's questionable, like everything.
Exactly. So it's Zion and CJ, and like that we know it's going to be in against Paul George and Maxey. So I'd obviously take George and Maxey over that duo. And then the depth goes Philadelphia. The home court advantage goes Philadelphia, though the 76ers might hate their home team right now. The coaching advantage probably goes Philadelphia. I don't know how much longer Willie Green is the head coach in the league, to be honest. No bets on that game, but 76ers -4 would be the side to take and taking steam. The over-under has been very flat at 220.5, but I think it would be an over spot if I was going to play into any direction. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks going against the Orlando Magic. Drew, this was a WAP release, a full unit at Bucks -3. When there was plenty of 3.5s on the board, I wrote 3.5 good too. We are now seeing this up to 6.5. Wow. Also a little bit of movement towards the over in this game. I saw 209 yesterday. We do know that Paolo Banchero is supposed to be returning for this game. But the question is, with Orlando getting smacked yesterday by the Wolves, we'll have to play the Anthony Edwards dunk in a minute. But like Anthony Black literally had his
murdered.
Yeah, there was a burial last night for Anthony Black. Yeah. He'll have to get resurrected one of these days. He has to now yam on somebody else to get resurrected. And honestly, he's like a 6'8" true point guard, which I think he'd be able to do it. So the Magic get smacked in the mouth last night against the Wolves. This is a back-to-back spot for them. They are at home. The Bucks are coming in. One of the rare times the Bucks have listed Giannis and Dame both probable on the injury report days early. They're normally questionable, and it makes it a little harder to play into it. Here you got both probables, which was the big reason and the motivation to immediately scoop up that -3.
Yeah,
now we see it at 6.5. Drew, the question I'm obviously going to throw to you, and this is going to be consistent throughout the pod, is when do I play things back? Do I even bother playing things back? So you're looking at Bucks -3, currently at 6.5. What are you doing with that ticket?
I want a 7. I really, really want a 7 for the push on the 3 and the push on the 7. So hopefully this gets there. If we don't see a 7 before tip, I'll play back a 6.5 personally, because I took a 1.5 units on this. So I'm going to play back a half unit.
Nice. What if you only had a unit? Are you just keeping your full unit?
Maybe a quarter unit if it hits 7. If it hits 7. If it didn't get there, I wouldn't play it back.
So I think this is a good strategy point to insert. I've been asked recently, if you didn't play the first position, should you tail me on the second position, right? So if you didn't see Bucks -3 come in and you didn't have that position, do you still play Magic plus 6.5? Because if we know Fiddle's playing it, if we know he's coming in late the other direction, then that's probably got to be plus EV2. And to which case I say, no, do not do that. The reason for the playback goes back to what Drew says, in that when you notice you're going to have a position for a positive value middle, you juice your bet in the beginning, knowing you're going to play something back. It's not a wanting of Magic plus 6.5 as a straight line at all. It's a combination of wanting a middle and wanting a Bucks position. So just having a Magic position, I don't think is what the goal of those ever is, right, Drew?
No, I wouldn't want a Magic position in this game straight up. Even at 7 covering right now. I
completely agree.
I really think like the reintegration of Banchero is going to be a little more difficult than we anticipated. Just with how ball dominant he is and how this team has been playing without him, I think it's going to be more of him fitting in rather than the team fitting themselves back around him. I think this team is better if he's not as ball dominant as he was in the playoffs, especially last year, as we saw. They're going to need to really keep that sort of pace, space, defense first mentality going forward. And I know he's got at least some of that mentality in him for sure. And maybe he's seen, if he's been watching the games and paying attention to his own team as he's been out, he'll know that he has some guys around him that are capable. So, just seeing how he's going to navigate that entire sort of reintegration is going to be interesting to watch. But I think that considering they're playing good teams right now, and especially the Bucks on a back-to-back, going to be tough to get these W's for the next week or so at least.
So the integration period, I think that's awesome that you pulled that out, Drew. We also need to note that like Paolo's never really played that much with a bunch of the guys who are getting the minutes right now, right? If we have no Suggs, no Franz, no Mo, right? And like you're playing a lot of Tristan Da Silva, who I think's a rookie, and you're playing like a lot of those type of guys. How much burn has he had with them in practice time, in previous game time? So I think the reintegration period is a good point. Not only does he need to return to game shape, not only do they need to get used to him as a very ball dominant player, I think Paolo's very of the ilk, like split the difference between Knicks Carmelo and Knicks Amari, and that's Paolo Banchero. And so with higher upside than that at the end of the day. But right now, that's kind of the form that he plays with. So it is going to be a little bit of ball dominant, and it is going to be something that is going to be tough to reintegrate. Drew, did you see Anthony Edwards bury Anthony Black last night?
I did catch a clip of it, yeah.
All right, well, let's show it on the stream. For those that didn't, here was a giant slam from Ant-Man.
They need a dress shoe brand. Edwards! Just electrified the crowd. Everybody in this arena is standing up right now. This arena is shook. Forget about the 3-6-1s. Let's look at those AE1s. Woo, baby. Get up, young fella.
My goodness.
Run away, Anthony Black. I liked how he tried to, like, it was too late, though. Yeah, it was too late.
He took it like a champ. He stood under there. Ant gives him the stare down. You see the whole bench like fucking Luka Garza and co. Wow, that's all. You love the bench reactions to these things. Ant's got a bag of these type of clips that you could go search.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably some threads going around right now. It's like
Yuta Watanabe.
Yeah. Oh,
as a Raptors fan, Yuta Watanabe. Oh man, that was a rough one. I was like, that was
the shooter.
No, literally, he was having like a solid, like, man, this guy could be, you know, the 6th, 7th man on a contender type season. And then Ant did that to him, and he was never the same ever.
He did have an amazing shooting stretch for the Grizzlies, but yeah, I don't think Yuta ever cracked what some people hoped he would be. Yuta the shooter. All right, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors visiting the Indiana Pacers. The Warriors coming off of a win last night in Detroit against the Pistons. They were up 18 in the third quarter, Drew. Won a sweaty one by 3. A late fourth quarter surge by the Pistons. Even an inbound pass. No, it was a free throw that Cade purposely missed. Caught the rebound. Fake outlets one way. Goes the other direction. The refs made a bad call on calling a free throw line violation that it didn't hit the rim on the shot attempt, and so then the Pistons had to reset their rotation, and they ended up with missing the shot, and it changed everything.
I had a good look, a second good look at it too. Well,
seriously, from Beasley, yeah, it was so very impressive coaching from Bickerstaff and execution from Cade there. Anyways, Warriors would pull out the win. Now it's the second night of a road back-to-back. We know Steph is dealing with this bilateral knee soreness. Have you ever heard a more fancy term for rest? Bilateral, both of them, knees, soreness. Both of Steph Curry's knees are sore, and therefore he will be kept out of today's game. That is some of the best injury reporting and injury finessing I've ever seen. There was another person who's going bilateral. I think it's Chris Middleton, bilateral ankle recovery or something, but he literally had 2 ankle surgeries on both sides this offseason. So Middleton gets a break. Steph Curry with the bilateral knee soreness. If I ran into Steph in person, I might ask him, how's your bilateral knee soreness, my friend? Draymond is questionable for this game as well. Moses Moody questionable. He missed last game. Dennis Schroeder questionable. I do think Schroeder is going to play on the Warriors side. I mean, on the Pacers side, Halliburton and Turner are both questionable. Steph Curry is doubtful. Brandon Podziemski is doubtful. And then we are still without Wiggins, Kuminga, Gary Payton, and Aaron Nesmith. So a vast array of injuries to the Warrior side off the second leg of a road back-to-back. I played this full unit released in the WAP at Pacers -5.5. Now, I also tweeted that out because I sent out an early tweet yesterday saying, talk to me. Let's get on some opening lines. What do you like? I like one side highlighted, and it has Pacers -5.5 highlighted. And in the next picture, it has bet placed, Pacers -5.5. So hopefully some of the audience was able to get in on that, get down on it. So hopefully, definitely people in the WAP were able to play that as well. This is a great line. I do not think Steph Curry is going to play. Drew, the question I'm going to throw to you, and a line that's moved from 5.5 to 8, and one that I have at the 5.5. Do I even need to ask it? Do I play it back?
God, no.
Keep it.
Yeah, keep it.
I agree. The Pacers,
like, I almost want to put a half unit on the -8, seeing as I don't have that position at all. Like, I actually just think the Pacers are going to blow out the Warriors tonight.
It is going to be so hard for the Warriors to keep up without Steph, without Podziemski, with maybe Schroeder, without Wiggins, without Kuminga.
Yeah, like like who's there? I guess Draymond's going to have another 40.
Oh, I'll tell you who's there. First time inserted into the rotation last night. Guy the guy, motherfucking Guy Santos is going to be a guy in this league. Drew, have you heard of Guy Santos?
No, but I did see him bang a couple threes, right?
Okay, so he bangs a couple threes. It's not his first year in the league. I've seen him in the league before. It might be his second year in the league. I think I don't know where he's from. Where's Gui Santos from? He is from Brazil, so he's one of the few lone Brazilian basketball players. Plays for the Warriors. It's probably his second year in the league right now, and he was entered into the Warriors rotation for the first time all season last night, considering
That's
Wiggins, Kuminga, and Moody were out. He played so well, scoring 9 points, going 3 for 4 on threes, and having a plus 14 within the first half. The Warriors would go into halftime up 17. Gui Santos, a plus 14 and a key contributor to that. So Santos gets the halftime interview, Drew. Listen to what he says. First of all, listen to how out of breath he is, and listen to what he said. You couldn't want a guy like this more in your locker room.
Santos was incredible. Were you ready for all those minutes? You played so well, Steve left you in the game.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've been working hard. That's the first game in the season that I'm being part of the rotation, so I'm just trying to play hardest that I can on the court, help my teammates to get open shots. If I got a crash to the rim, I'm gonna do it. So I'm just trying to do everything that I can help my teammates to get better.
This guy's desperate to be out on the court and be great.
Is he like the younger brother of Anderson Varejao? Man, do they look similar?
Nice,
like
call.
mini Anderson
right?
Varejao.
Varejau's Brazilian.
I think he is, isn't he?
Deflated ball. Let's see if I can Steph Curry this.
Oh,
you saw it go in. First
Let's
actual
go.
shot on the screen. Let's see if I can follow it up with a sky hook.
Not even close. we need
to
get you some air down there.
Yeah, I do. I really need to pump those balls up. All right, so Pacers -8, the clear side. Total has been very relative to this 224. Obviously, depends a lot on these injury reports. Hard to play an over without Steph on this court, without any shooters for the Warriors. You're going to be relying on Buddy Hield, Lindy Waters, Gui Santos, and those guys to put up a lot of points. They do play well with without Steph because of the Steve Kerr system, that there's so much motion and movement and passing, and so they can just distract defenders. There was a beautiful, beautiful play last night where Trace Jackson Davis hit a slip screen on oh my God, Draymond hit Trace Jackson Davis off a slip screen. I'll have to find that clip for next week. So it was just beautiful, beautiful basketball play. But yeah, Warriors, I think, are toast in this game, and Drew is even looking at a late Pacers -8 ticket. Wow.
Yeah, there might.
All right. That is halfway
9, right?
Let's check the market. Let's do that real quick. There's 7.5 at Circa, so probably not. It probably stays at 8. -8 is taking Vig at Bookmaker. We could check Pinnacle real quick and let you know it is 8 -108 to the Pacers at Pinnacle as well. And they're low Vig, so it's -102 on the other side. So yeah, it may be 8.5. I don't think it gets to 9, but I don't even think I'm going to play it back at 8.5. Like, I just think the Pacers smacked tonight, and I got a great ticket at 5.5. All right, that is halfway through the show. Let me remind everyone to please rate, review, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you are listening to. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, we would love a little click the thumbs up button, click the little subscribe button. The YouTube channel has been growing rapidly this year. This is the first time this season that we've ever done YouTube content, and the growth there has been great. So please check us out. Adonis asked, how can I get access to your early release picks? Adonis, we have this platform called WAP. You can find the link to that in the podcast description in the audio form, or in the YouTube video, or in my Twitter bio. There's generally the link to all of those WAP chat and picks. You get inserted into a locked text chat. There is 2 of them. You get a direct picks chat, and you get a community chat. I send out picks with alerts, and I will tag them, and I would say at everyone, and you will get an alert on your phone in the chat when there's a direct pick. And then there is a community chat where you guys can talk about lines, props with other people in the group. The way that I do it, it's $100 a month. However, $50 back in the first month simply for leaving a review on the store page. And if we ever have a losing month, it's very rare when you're betting Bucks -3 and it's closing 6.5, and it's betting Pacers -5.5 and it's closing at 8. if we ever do have a losing month, I will not sell losing picks. I will credit your entire account for a free month the next month. That is the consistency that I think we show. That is kind of how we feel is the right way to do this. It is becoming a really nice community. Someone actually reached out to me yesterday who's in the WAP, who doesn't really comment much in the WAP, and just says, hey, this is a pretty sharp community for me. And it was such an amazing thing for me to get that message. So I completely agree with it, whether that's Shok throwing in where lines are up and where the discrepancies are, whether that's Deep letting us know the latest injury reports on all things happening for the Knicks. There are some very sharp people in there. Eric answering people's questions. So thank you to everyone who's been in the WAP. And if you want to get in, you could find those links, and that's kind of how we do it. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics versus the Sacramento Kings in Boston. Kings on the road. 10.5 point spread, minus 114 to the Celtics, and over under at 229, a total that has come down 1.5 points since the open. So a little bit of under movement. That is classic from what we're seeing with Celtics games. We've talked about that 100 times on the pod, that Celtics games consistently take under steam, and they generally cash under tickets because the 3-point volume and the good offense is priced into putting up numbers like 231 or 230 and a half. You could still get that 230 and a half minus 115 at ESPN Bet with yeah, I kind of like that. 229 flat at Sharp Books. So if you could get that 230.5 minus 115 ESPN Bet, there's 228 and a half on the exchanges. That would be very interesting. You could potentially get 1.5 points, 2 points ahead of that line towards the under in this game. Spread wise, this for me is a Celtics spot. We're seeing that 10 go to 10.5. We're seeing 11 at Circa, 11 at DraftKings, 11 at Caesars, Bet365, the offshores, bookmaker laying at 11 right now. So 10.5 would be the best number on the Celtics side. I was thinking about taking a 10, Drew. I think at 10.5 with Vig, I'll probably forego it, but that's kind of how I'm reading this game. I have no action here, but seems to be a slight under spot and a Celtic spot.
Yeah, I did take the 10 for half a unit last night. Happy to see it's moving a little bit. I do think Boston with a little rest at home finally probably lays the smackdown against this Sacramento team in current form.
Yeah, I don't think the Sacktown team gets up. I mean, especially if Fox is out. If Fox gets ruled in, maybe it comes back to the 10, but I don't think this is even taking that much movement. I think it's more price as Fox is in, because if he was out, I think it'd be 12.5.
Completely healthy Celtics that's just a tough spot for any team, and they match up against the Kings specifically incredibly well.
Yeah, it's going to be hard not to take some. Maybe I come in late on some Celtics. Maybe Fox gets ruled in, it comes back down to the 10, and that's the moment to jump in. If you have Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jalen.
There he goes. He hit that escape button again. No, he's right though. If when you have those guys guarding the Sacramento guards, especially without Fox.
Why do I always do this? Go ahead, you keep talking, because I know you always cover it well.
Yeah. If Fox isn't in, it's going to be next to impossible for the rest of the Sacramento guards to get around Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. That 3-guard lineup is just tough for any guard-oriented team, especially when they're missing their best guard. So, and then I really think Sabonis will have trouble with Porzingis. Porzingis is just bigger, shoots better. He's just like a better Sabonis, basically, who doesn't play as close to the rim, so doesn't get as many rebounds.
That's so well said. He supercharges the Celtics offense in the sense that, like, he provides that 5-out spacing that they can do for 48 minutes. If you have all of them healthy and you're bringing Horford off the bench, I think that's what the Spurs are trying to do with Wembanyama, but the problem is Jeremy Sohan doesn't allow them to go 5-out, right? Like if Wemby plays a ton on the perimeter, if they had another Porzingis type or Horford type, or who Tatum's playing the 4 for the Celtics, or Jaylen Brown's playing the forward, if they had another person who could space and shoot, like let's say the Spurs had Trey Murphy next to Wemby right now, like that team would just be a blistering offense shooting 100 threes a game. And so that's what the Porzingis effect has shown throughout the league, that opening up the stretch 5 can absolutely supercharge an offense, and which applies to, which will be the next game as I share the odds screen again. The OKC Thunder at the New York Knicks, a repeat matchup of what we saw about a week ago in OKC, where the Oklahoma City Thunder won and pulled that one out. I think they took it in the second half, and it was a close first half. Then we saw obviously the Thunder go to Cleveland and get a little beat up by the Cavs. A great game where they would end up losing late. Very physical game too. Now we go back to New York. Definitely a day's rest here. Front end of a back-to-back for the Thunder. They are going Knicks and then to the Wizards the next night. I don't think that's too big of a spot to consider a look ahead because the bench of the Thunder could probably beat the Wizards.
Yeah.
We're seeing this line open at -1.5. It is now Oklahoma City Thunder -3.5. Drew, it was released as a WAP play at the -1.5. So there is not a single spread that we have bet today where we are not at least 2 points ahead of the market. 2 points and vig right here. 2.5 points on the Pacers, 3.5 points on the Bucks. And that correlates with full unit on the 2 ones that are 2.5 and 3, and 3/4 of a unit on the one that is 2 points. This is just a dominant card. It shapes up for this to be the 10th night winning in the last 11 days. This shapes up for dominant January to continue. I don't want to speak too soon because certainly minus CLV tickets can certainly win, and plus CLV tickets can certainly lose. However, when you're hit across the board this well, this is a really, really, really good spot on the card. Thunder have been the clear sharp side. Obviously, we're waiting on some injury news, I believe, on Karl Anthony Towns, but he did play last game, so I would expect him to play. Deuce McBride as well. We know the injuries who are out. Caruso, Chet Holmgren, Mitch Robinson just simply remain out. So that questionable asymmetric risk still comes in on the Thunder side, where like if Towns or McBride were going to be out, though I think this is priced closer to them both playing and some steam on the Thunder that came in, you would get a further line. Of course, you'd get, like, if Towns was going to be out, you get OKC -5.5, 6, like in New York. Brunson has looked exhausted. Josh Hart has looked banged up. This team has gone through a stretch that, like, the Knicks just went on a long road trip and it was pretty difficult. So now they just look a little exhausted. So I'm kind of in the mood of fading that team coming off the loss for OKC, thinking that this is a bounce back spot for them. Any opinion on this game, Drew? I think you were seeing it slightly different than me at these current numbers.
Yeah, I did think the Knicks probably shouldn't be this much of a dog at home if Towns is in. And I think the books kind of priced it as if he's going to play, right? Like I agreed with the opening line is like, I didn't mind you playing OKC. I thought it was closer to a pick 'em, that type of thing. So like OKC -1.5, -1, whatever you got there, was a good spot. And I liked the bounce back spot. I think that the Knicks are, like you said, banged up a little right now. They really miss Mitchell Robinson, right? Like, just all these guys having to play one position upwards basically because of him being out.
Karl Anthony Towns having to be the league leading rebounder right now.
Yeah.
As a stretch 5. Like, you want him playing a little more perimeter on offense too, to do that same thing we were talking about with Porzingis and the other team, to like supercharge the offense. You'd want, to have the option of playing Cat primarily on the perimeter on offense, but he does a little bit of both now because he has to.
And they played the extra game with the NBA Cup, right?
Thunder did.
Didn't the Knicks make?
Yes, but that's technically not an extra game. That's like still part of your regular season that the other teams play too.
But wouldn't it be a game more than they would have played in the schedule wise?
No,
like,
only the NBA Cup Finals is. Yeah, it's their flexing schedule so that the quarterfinals and the semifinals are both part of your regular season, and then the finals isn't. And then they say, oh, the finals like care about this game, but then it doesn't count to the regular season, and then we won't count it in statistics. Then go look up these player stats, and it's disappeared from the box scores, and it's really just so confusing. Yeah. They definitely need to fix that. Just fix it. Yeah,
I think so too. It clearly is. I can't get it still.
Yeah, and we're some of the world's biggest NBA fans.
Yeah.
Which that, Drew, is a little ode to what our topic is at the end of the day. We did get Ian the GOAT uploading the Edwards dunk over Yuta Watanabe. Let's play it so that we have it on the pod.
Ooh, they were lucky that wasn't turned over. Anthony Edwards, that time he does finish with the exclamation point.
Watanabe got his feelings hurt on this one. I mean, that is absolutely filthy. There have been very few in-game dunks that have looked like that.
Put that on a poster.
You could see Ant start looking up to the scoreboard because he wants to see his own replay.
Yeah.
He just knew he hammered it on somebody, and he's like, "Wait, I need to see that real quick."
Yeah, that was like the John Collins one.
Oh, that one was legendary too. All right, let's talk about the Washington Lizards facing the Chicago Bulls in Chi-Town. We have a total at 243, one that has taken over steam from an open at 240 and a half. I have wanted nothing to do with this total in either direction. I was thinking about coming in on the Wizards plus 11 and a half. We've been talking good things about the Wizards. However, Brogdon going to be out. Jordan Poole questionable. Chicago Bulls just lost to the Wizards in Washington when they were taking steam, going from a 4.5 to 6.5 point favorite in Washington, and then the Wizards would come and win outright. So I think Washington probably slight revenge game in this spot on their home court, playing well after that nice Spurs win. So this was a total don't bet it, don't watch it type of game for me. Drew, do you have any opinions on Bulls Wizards?
I just think this spread is massive considering these two teams are kind of similar in sort of standing in the league currently, right? Like we're saying the Bulls are 12 points better than the Wizards. That seems a little egregious to me, but at the same time, I do realize that Brogdon being out, the Wizards were playing a lot better with him in.
He's so important. He needs to get traded somewhere good.
I know. Well, the problem is he never plays a full season. Almost
Right.
never, right?
Right. No team wants to commit to it with the health issues.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure his contract's not great, if I recall. I can't remember off the top of my head what his contract looks like currently. But yeah, I do think that the Wizards, again, like we were saying last week, the Wizards are looking to trade guys. They're looking to showcase guys, get some picks, get this rebuild going as quickly as possible. It's just a lot of points. A lot of points. I think if Poole plays and if that line stays the same with Poole back in the lineup, I might pick up some just because I won't respect myself for not grabbing a little bit of an egregious spread.
Do you know where Jordan Poole's from?
I do not.
He is from the LA area. Do you know who else is from the LA area? Obviously, a lot of people. The Ball brothers.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you see what I'm sharing on the screen right now?
Yes.
A little highlight of an old clip from Jordan Poole playing against all three Ball brothers. So this 14 right here, can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
This 14 is Poole. This is Lonzo right here.
Yeah.
So let's watch the minute clip of Jordan Poole playing against the Ball brothers as we get potentially Poole playing against Lonzo tonight. First of all, are you kidding me, Lonzo? Lefty? Full court? Dime? To LaMelo?
Oh.
Okay, wait, what? I didn't watch this clip. I just saw it come through yesterday, and I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Jordan Poole just did. Okay, so he's been this kind of Jordan Poole forever.
For no reason. He's just like, what? There's nobody there. Okay.
Is that to Lonzo? Yes.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Oh,
jeez,
LaMelo to
he could
Lonzo
jump.
on an oop. Oh my God! Look at freshman high school LaMelo throwing his brother an alley-oop.
Look at Lonzo just float up there. No, like effortless.
True.
God, I
true,
missed healthy
true,
Lonzo.
Drew, do you just see this pass? Look at this.
Okay.
Wait.
Little lefty look away.
Is that through
Spin
the
away.
legs?
I don't
Around
think so.
Lonzo,
I think
too.
it's around Lonzo. I think it's around. his legs.
Wow. No
Yeah.
way.
Don't do it to him. Oh, he did do it to him.
That's Jello right there. Look at Jello right here. Look at this. Comes around, swerves, bends that corner. Whoa. Oh, Lonzo said see ya.
Come on, Alamany.
Lonzo was still shooting like a crazy person back
Yeah, like what?
then. I saw that clip yesterday and I was like, we're using that on the show.
Yeah, that's man. Offensively, those guys were money very young.
Can you imagine how fun it would be to be at that game?
Can you imagine how fun it would have been to been a ball brother?
Yeah, to just play like that.
Like literally every day you're playing American or whatever against the two ball brothers. I don't know like what it's called, but it's where you go 1v2, try to get a basket.
King of the
We
Court.
call it American here.
Oh, we call it King of the Court. Oh, or 21.
Yeah, well, it's 21 kind of. Only you play actual defense. Like how? I can't remember how it would. I guess it's called 21.
Was LeVar out there? Were they actually playing 2-on-2 with LeVar ball?
Yeah, you never know. That'd be fun.
All right, let's talk about the last game on the slate, which is the Brooklyn Nets visiting the Denver Nuggets. Line open for a split second at DraftKings at Nuggets -14. I tried to get it. I would have faded this Nets team so hard. It is now up to 15.5. I saw it at 14.5. I saw it moving to 15. I did not know, and I still don't think we know if Jokic is playing. He's listed in the props, but he's still questionable. So I lean towards he is playing and in the return from illness, but he hasn't played since the back-to-back against the Spurs where he was playing against Victor Wembanyama. So tough to know, really tough to bet into a Denver Nuggets -14.5 without the Jokic news, right? That one was like super key. How can I bet into Nuggets on a super long spread? I would have played Nuggets -850 on the money line, and everyone's going to hate me for it, but I would have done it, right? And now it's out to 1350, like 810 on the net side. You could have literally just arbed off of, like damn near arbed off of it, or just bought out at very little cost if you wanted to. The over under at 219. I have to say thank you to Drew. Drew sent me a text yesterday that says go bet under 224.5. And I said, okay, sure. He said, do it now. I said, all right, relax, guy. No, it's not actually how it went. It was just more like, go bet this now. And I looked at it. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, he's right.
Well, you know, it's important when I type it in all caps. Like when I'm just like, oh yeah, this is available here. You should probably grab that. You're like, all right, I'll head over there in the next 5 minutes. But when you get a text from me that's like all caps, get this right now. You know,
you hit me with 2 of those last night.
Yeah, the other one was the Bucks one.
Bucks -3.
Bucks -3. Yep.
So people in the WAP could actually thank Drew for Bucks -3 and Nets Nuggets under 224.5. I did Pacers and OKC all by myself though. I do.
Yeah. For the record, I'm beating you in CLV.
Yeah, on today you're beating me in CLV.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
What up for the boys?
Yep. Because I would even say 4.5 points, or what is that? That's 4.5 points in the total is pretty equivalent to like
5.5 points, by the way.
No, 4.5. Oh my god.
224.5. It's 5.5 points, my friend.
Wow. Someone's math is bad on a Friday morning. So 5.5 points there is certainly better than this, 2 points and a little vig through a less meaningful spread. I'd say it's pretty equal to the other two. Yeah, you beat me today.
Yay.
Value.
My cousin Sal beating Bill Simmons at his own game. Let's go.
So Nuggets, like it just all depends on the Jokic news. Was an under spot. It continues to be a fade Brooklyn spot heavily. Brooklyn is playing with like 8 active players, and they all stink, right? No Cams, no D'Lo. Let's throw up the injury report one more time for this
Can you
game.
fit it on the screen?
Yeah, we barely. Cam Johnson, D'Angelo Russell, Cam Thomas, and Trenton Watford out. So like just all of the important pieces, and then Ben Simmons is going to play. Jokic is questionable. Day'Ron Sharp is also going to play. We know Aaron Gordon remains out for the Nuggets. Nothing really here for me. Nuggets probably smacked, but I missed a good price on a long spread or money line.
Yeah, I have a half unit on the -14, and I'm probably going to play back this over under and just make a full middle at the moment, and then see what happens with the Jokic news and assess from there going forward.
Did Jokic play versus the Clippers the other night? No. We have a comment in the chat that says he did play versus Clippers, and I know they played. No. Jokic missed this game.
Did he?
No, I'm like 95% sure he missed this game. Ian's waving his hand in the back. Ian, can you come on the screen? Yeah, Taylor says no. Yeah, he did not play.
No.
Okay. It's all good, JB. We still love it.
I mean, the score, if you're just looking at the score, I can understand why you think he played.
Right. Well, that's also, remember Kawhi, yeah, and Kawhi left to deal with the fires. You have to imagine the Clippers were dealing with some of the the fire stuff. Before we get to our Friday topic, let's throw in some comments. Peasy says, still licking my wounds from the Grizzlies' loss last night. Come on, Peasy. You were here on the pod yesterday when we said that is a Houston matchup advantage. Houston. Matchup advantage, Houston. Houston pulls out the dub.
To be fair, we got a little lucky with that one.
Oh, we got lucky on a bad number to still cover, but even later I would have said Houston. Even once, like if I hadn't played Houston early and gotten the wrong side of the injury news, still covered, then I would have played it late on the right side of the news and played a great number on it. But I just didn't want to add more exposure. But it was I was very confident in Houston yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Check my Twitter post and see the DMs that I received from the schmuck who got blocked within 20 minutes of asking me who's going to win that game. Cedric says, yo, lurkers, doubters, and haters, make yourself useful and hit the like button.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cedric,
you're the man. Salute to you, Cedric. JB says, by the way, the needle is hidden in the handle.
Oh,
no fucking way.
Hilarious.
No way.
You're telling. Have you guys seen that?
It is. Holy shit.
Have you guys seen that video, those TikToks? You're telling me 40 years I could have had a needle in my handle? There ain't no way.
Yo, this is like when people like learn how to do like some like life hack. Exactly, Drew, that they haven't done in. Yeah. Holy shit. JB, comment of the year.
I mean, we're only 11 days in, but good job.
Yeah, comment of the year in 2025 though. Oh yeah, we're gonna pump this bad boy up in a bit. All right, Drew, for the last Friday topic that I want to do.
Yeah.
One thing that has not been discussed, you have no idea what's coming. One thing that has not been discussed on this show, Ian has no idea what's coming. I see Ian propped up in the back. Like, what the fuck are they about to talk about? One topic that we have not discussed on the show is the NBA ratings being down. And the reason why we haven't discussed it on the show is because I don't think anyone gives a shit about what our opinion is on the NBA ratings. And therefore, like, we're not like lead reporters in the NBA. We're here betting, breaking down betting angles. And like, I don't really care about the ratings. They don't affect me. I'm still going to watch, which got me thinking I'm still going to watch every night. Like, I love when the clock strikes 7:10 and the games start going and I'm starting to watch my bets and I can actually watch the games. It's like people talk about like doing what you love or whatever. I don't know if it's totally like doing what I love, but I love watching basketball in the NBA. And I got thinking about it yesterday and I was like, wow. The NBA literally has everything that you could possibly want as a fan. We have the other night, Portland playing against the Pelicans. Let's not forget that Brandon Ingram and Anthony Simons have a baby with the same woman. We talked earlier this week about Ime Udoka, why he got fired from the Celtics, getting caught on the Ring camera and being exposed by the husband who was seeing Ime at his front door with his wife at 3 a.m. while he was on vacation. We have reviewed so many of these unbelievable stories, and that's also not even including, like, you have the apex of the Wemby story coming up. You have the Tatum story, the Ant story, and those kind of Bookers in their primes humming along. You have the LeBron career arc, the Chris Paul, the Steph Curry, the Kevin Durant as it's waning. At all times in the NBA, you have drama, you have excitement, you have highlights, you have inside scoops, you have like trade buzz, you have the Jimmy Butler shit going on. We have everything that you could possibly want in like a 5-star drama in the NBA.
Yep.
Hold on one sec. Let me close the shade.
There we go.
Oh, that's way better. It was lefty. So my thought about the whole NBA ratings, Drew, it's not that long of a discussion, but like, I understand the ratings going down because people right now are so just wanted to see something in 1 minute and scroll their phone and see the next TikTok video or whatever comes up. And it's like, you have to digest an NBA game after like 2.5 hours or something. And sometimes the end of the fourth quarter can be a little slow, or sometimes, whatever. The game within the game is also so fucking good. Like, we have the Joy Taylor stuff going on in sports media. We have like Bill Simmons taking shots against some of the old ESPN folks half the time. We have Inside the NBA and their drama, and Charles Barkley versus Shaq and Ernie and those guys refusing to talk about the Lakers and then breaking out into a spelling bee on live TV. It was hilarious to see Chuck and they were what was the word that they were asked to spell? Psychology, right? Shaq this week on Inside the NBA is like, I want to get my sports psychology degree because all these players are soft. So in a few years, I'm going back to school and I'm getting my sports psychology degree. Then Chuck is like, you can't even spell psychology. So Ernie and Kenny are like, all right, each of you take a pen and paper, spell psychology. And then they hold it up and they're like, both right. And then Kenny's like, Ernie, choose another word. And Ernie's like, elusive. And they both spell it. They both spell it. One spelled it with the, like, there's two different versions of elusive. There's ELUSIVE and there's ILLU, right? So there's like there's two different versions of it. So they each split up and chose a different version, and then they're clowning each other about who's right and who's wrong. It was hilarious. Like, this stuff is so fucking good around the league. I don't care that the ratings are down. I'm still going to watch every night and have a blast.
I agree. And I would be interested to know if there's more fans now like us who are interested in the league as a whole rather than just individual basketball teams. Because like the reason I liked the NBA is because I liked basketball, and then I liked the Raptors. And then the more I got into the Raptors, the more I got into the league, and the more I got into the league, the more I got into all the happenings and the drama within the league. And I started following the different beat writers and all of that kind of stuff. Right. And all of a sudden now I'm an overall NBA fan. That said, my viewership is down, I would imagine, overall across, because like I just used to watch every single Raptors game front to back. Right. I used to watch every single marquee playoff game front to back. Right. And now I find myself so interested in so many different games at once a lot of the time, right? Where I'm like tuning into one game and then I tune out because it's an ad break or there's a timeout, and I tune over here to check this one out. And I have two games going on two different screens, right? And then I'm catching up like on games that I didn't watch on highlights the next day, the highlight packages from NBA.com, Twitter, right? Or not Twitter, YouTube. And you get those 10-minute highlight packages. So you get to sort of see what happens. I would say there's probably a lot of people like us, right? Like where it's just easier to get, like, there's just so much going on now. Like, who has fucking time to sit down and watch the entirety of a basketball game or a football game, especially when they take 2.5, 3 hours?
That's true. I'm watching 4 games at once when I
Yeah.
tune in at 7:30 or whatever. That's like I got Pistons Warriors on one screen going. I got Rockets Grizzlies on another screen going. Like tonight, let's look at tonight's slate. I'm gonna have Bucks Magic going because I have a bet there. At the same time, Warriors Pacers is going because I have a bet there. And then 30 minutes later, Knicks Thunder start, which I'll have on the board too. And those are probably the 3 that I'll keep eyes on. But yeah, at least I'll be watching 3 games tonight. But could you say like it's really a change in viewership is what it is.
The change
NBA
is a
needs to probably
change
be a little
in the
better
way
at like doing a channel for that than like almost red zone-ist that just goes hops to each game.
Yeah, I think they're finding. So one of the things that they'll probably end up doing now that they've got the Prime deal and Amazon money and all of that kind of stuff, right, is they'll redo NBA TV on one of those platforms. So then it's just constant, and like guys like us will literally just have that on at all times on my computer. Like, why wouldn't I? It would be silly not to. That's always like there's unless it's bad and they're just not telling me anything I don't already know. But typically, especially if it's a live show, throughout the day, you're gonna get your news in your ears. So like now I can play poker 6 tables at a time and breaking news, this guy's out. So now I just go over here and action this instead of having to look through the Underdog NBA Twitter
Seriously.
feed, right?
Speaking about breaking news,
I would tune into that.
De'Aaron Fox participating in Shoot Around Friday. The line has not moved. I went and checked that on the side. But yeah, Drew, I completely agree. That would be awesome. They definitely need to do something similar to
like
that.
because we're not, everybody who consumes the NBA now doesn't consume it via traditional cable, traditional satellite, right?
Right. Did you hear who's going to be the Amazon people for next season?
No.
Blake Griffin and Dirk are going to be on the set.
I am
awesome
super
ones.
pumped for that.
Yeah.
So that's 2 great personalities.
It's great.
And
Blake was a legend.
Blake is literally, have you ever seen any of his stand-up comedy sets? They're not
he's hilarious.
terrible.
He's legitimately
actually
a great actor.
Decent.
Yep. His commercials were fantastic back in the day. It made me so excited when I saw the breaking news. Dirk Nowitzki and Blake Griffin are already named to be part of the Amazon Prime set next year for Amazon NBA.
That's awesome. Dirk is such a goofball in like such a like good and relatable way too. I love it. I've always loved Dirk.
We have a Dirk. I think we've played it before, but we have one of the Dirk. Do we still have it? Yeah, here we have a 19-second Dirk Nowitzki commercial from back in the day doing that. Remember that commercial? Mike. Guess what day it is? Hump day.
Hey, hump day.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, huh? Anybody? Kayla, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Champ. What day is it, champ? Hey, Cash, guess what the day is?
It's game day.
What?
They're going to be hilarious. They have a chance to take over what Inside the NBA has captured the last few years, because if the Inside the NBA's next generation, as they kind of go away, they're a licensed show from Turner Sports being broadcasted onto ESPN. Chuck isn't sure how much longer he's going to last. Ernie wants to stay with TNT for as long as possible and stay in Atlanta. So we'll see. Amazon has a little space to carve out. Drew, can I tell you one of my life goals?
What's that?
I believe Amazon NBA streams is one day going to have a gambling stream live before the show.
Ooh.
I believe there will be a responsible betting type of live stream on Amazon days because if you go to Amazon.com, you could see Prime live streams is one of the top headers on their banner. So Amazon is trying to push some of their Prime live streams. I believe there will be Prime live streams doing NBA gambling stuff in the hour as an alternate cast to the Dirk and Blake Griffin stuff. in the same way that there's like NBA TV bet stream. There's like the Manning cast for Monday Night Football. I believe there's going to start being like smart, responsible gambling shows as like pregame shows on the side to review best bets, props, live looks, all that stuff. Life goal would be to have the Advantage be part of that. I would love the Advantage to be licensed to Amazon and have us
that'd be fun.
Be part of the pregame shows for Amazon one day.
Life
goal.
Let's speak it to power, right?
Yeah, Taylor says, being a Nuggets fan, I always tune into their games, but I have at least one or two other screens as well. Yeah, and you can't even get all the Nuggets games because like the blackout stuff. Blake and his Chuck impersonations. I hope we get the Charles Barkley impersonations. In fact, I guarantee we do. Taylor says, Matt Moore said Jokic was super sick. You know, maybe one of us sent a text to Matt Moore and was like, can you give me any updates on Jokic? Didn't get any response, but I tried, fellas. I tried.
Good attempt. You had to do it.
Yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Fun Friday show. Glaring lights. We are going to be a few days away from having the full studio set up. So we'll get rid of the glare. We're going to get lights on the back wall. We have the needle now found in the pump because JB is a legend in the chat. I'm going to pump up these balls. We are going to start shooting some hoops next week. I say we. I'm going to be taking all the shots. So unless Drew gets a hoop there.
This is the coaching error.
We are going to start incorporating a really new fun segment into the show next week. So we have some exciting news, a little partnership that the Advantage is doing, and that will include a little segment added to the end of shows where we're shooting the shot and then looking for some bets with that information, depending on how we do in the shots. We'll figure it out. Thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to Ian in the back. We're glad Ian feels better. It is nice to have our guy in the back manning the ship, keeping all the production stuff great. We're grateful to have Drew here live on the show, a professional poker player, helping me break down all of these NBA slates. We're grateful to everyone in the chat. We hope you all have a great weekend. Hope the winning continues. If you want to get in on these picks and releases, come join us in the WAP. As a reminder, they are 3 spreads on favorites. It is Pacers 5.5. out to 8, Thunder 1.5 out to 3.5, and Bucks 3 out to 6.5. Dominant card. Brooklyn Nets, Denver under 224.5 down to 219, and then 3 props. Hartenstein over 12.5 points. That was plus money. That was plus 120. Giannis over 38.5 points plus rebounds. That was minus 110, and Cole Anthony under 4.5 rebounds. That was minus 140, and that would probably be the cap at which I play those. I have not checked in on those prices that I bet the props that I bet last night on the prices this morning, but I would assume maybe one is still playable. Maybe you could still get the Giannis number, maybe you could still get the Cole Anthony number, but I do think probably closing with some value there as well. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday. Full studio set up. Maybe we'll get even a dog on the couch, a beautiful, cute dog on the couch named Braun. And some words from Patrick Beverly as we say, peace out.
Y'all subscribe to my podcast while y'all asking all these questions.
Don't forget to subscribe to the pod. And if you're a kid, listen to your parents. Listen to your parents.
Listen to your parents.
Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe.
Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the pod, man.
Good, those are good.